Okay, good evening everyone. I am the second reporter. I am Ichumi Moraes and we will talk all about the curriculum evaluation in the classroom. So first, Dow 1997 asserted that the classroom, in fact, could be the first site of gathering important data that will lead to curriculum evaluation. Within the classroom, teachers and administrators can collect data using several instruments like test results, anecdotal records, checklists, interview guides, observation guides, personality inventories, rating scales, IQ tests, and last, interest inventory. So first, what is test result? So can you please read Miss Irma?
Test results. Test results are used to evaluate the achievement of children, the skills they need to learn, and the effectiveness of the schools in teaching these skills.
Okay, thank you so much. So test results show how someone has learned something. So test result is very helpful both teachers and students to learn what kind of strengths and weakness of their students and their children. So what kind of different subjects areas. So the second is anecdotal record. Can you please read Miss Sassing?
Anecdotal records are used to record the specific observations of individual student behaviors, skills, and attitudes as they relate to the outcomes in a program of students.
Thank you so much. So anecdotal records is like about background of what a student does in the class. So it can help teachers understand their student behaviors, skills, and attitude. So the third is checklist. Can you please read Miss Alivio Arcel?
Checklists are tools that set out specific criteria which educators and students may use to gauge skill development or progress. Checklists set out skills, attitudes, strategies, and behaviors for evaluation and offer ways to systematically organize information about a student or group of students.
Thank you so much, Miss Alivio. So checklist is a tool list of specific skills, attitudes, strategy, and behavior for the student to learn or demonstrate. So it can be help to the student and teachers to track the progress and organize information about learning. So through the help of the checklist, it's easy to see what the student has mastered and what need to work on. So next is interview guides. Can you please read Miss Awit?
Interview guides vary from highly scripted to relatively loose, but they all share certain features. They help you know what to ask about, in what sequence, how to pose your questions, and how to pose follow-ups.
Thank you so much, Miss Awit. So, interview guides is provide about what to do to say the next after the interviews has answered the last question. So, it can be used by the job interview and the student interview. So, next, please, observation. Guys, can you please read Miss Talisik? Observation, ganun. Observation.
Observation guides is an outline provided to pre-service teachers as a way to scaffold and support their observations of balanced literacy practices taking place in classroom instruction.
Oh, thank you so much, Miss Talasik. So, observation guide is a tool to the student teachers to help them to focus on important aspect of teaching. So di ba sa fourth year kay sila kay student teacher naman through ay di ba sa first semester is mag-observe man na sila teacher on how they teach and how kanang to interact to their student. And then dapat nga kita mo observe jud ta sa teacher kay we can we are the next teacher nga mo kuan nila mo hatag og discussion mga lesson and how they effective teaching happens. Next, personality inventories. Can you please read Miss Gimarangan?
Personality inventories are tools that career counselors and other career development professionals use to help people learn about their personality types. It reveals information about individuals' social traits, motivations, strengths, and weaknesses and attitudes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gimarangan. So, personality inventories is our test to learn about something personality. So, it can help people to understand what their strengths, weaknesses, and what are their character or kanang what they like to their lives na. And then, so, experts believe that the factors, it is very important sa kanang like mga jobs and for like our career success. So next, rating skills. Can you please read Miss Abukay?
Rating skills is a common method of data collection that is used to gather comparative information about a specific research subject. Rating skill is a number that often given to ascertain the level in which the student has achieved the aim of the activity.
Oh, thank you so much, Abukay. So, rating skills is the use of number to show how well someone did something. So, it can be used to compare different students or see how much the progress someone has made. So, next is IQ test. So, can you please read Sir Marcuyos?
IQ test. Intelligence tests or IQ tests often focus on abilities such as mathematical skills, memory, spatial perception, and language abilities. The capacity to see relationships, solve problems, and remember information are important components of intelligence. So these are often the skills on which IQ tests focus.
Thank you so much, Sir Koyos. So, really, IQ test is measure a person intelligent by assessing abilities like math skills, memory, understanding, and language. It focuses on how well someone can solve problem or see relationship or remembering the information. So next please. So the last is interest and ventures. Can you please read Miss Juberly?
Entries inventories. An interest inventory, also known as an interest test, is a testing instrument designed for the purpose of measuring and evaluating the level of an individual's interest in or preference for a variety of activities.
Thank you so much, Miss Juberly. So interest inventory is help to people figure out what they like to do, or they can be used to explore their career or choose hobbies. So that's all. So next reporter is Miss Gemma Melendres.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Diama Melendres, the third report. The curriculum evaluation at the school or school system level. Who wants to read? So, Miss Irma. Macro level. Macro level, the sorry, curriculum evaluation is done mostly at the school or school system level. This is usually done to evaluate how the curriculum goals are attained in the macro level. The following instruments can be used to gather data for evaluation of the curriculum.
So thank you, Ms. Rama. So curriculum evaluation ensures that the goals of a school curriculum are achieved. It helps identify strengths and weaknesses in teaching and learning practices. And macro level is refers to a large-scale perspective that focuses on system structures or processes at a board level incorporating organizations, communities, or society. So the following instrument can be used to gather data for the evaluation of the curriculum. First is opinion polls. So opinion polls gather general feedback from stakeholders. So for example, is a school might ask teachers, students, and parents whether they find the curriculum engaging and relevant. And second is surveys. Surveys collect structures data about specific areas of the curriculum. So a student survey could ask if they find science experiments helpful in understanding lessons with response on a scale to 1 to 5. So third is focus group discussion. This discussion allows stakeholders to share detailed feedback. So a school might organize a focus group with alumni to ask how the curriculum prepared them with careers. And next is follow-up studies or graduate research studies. So this track graduate success to assess the curriculum impact. The example, if a school learns that its IT graduates are excellent in software development, it may conclude that its programming curriculum is effective. So next is standard evaluation instrument. So these tools measure specific aspects of the curriculum such as lesson plan quality or teacher performance. So example is a school may use a checklist to evaluate if all learning objectives are addressed during lessons. So last is results of district or national tests. So these tests provide measurable data on student performance and curriculum alignment. So example, if students score below the national average in English, the school might revise its language curriculum. So wants to read? So Miss Landero.
The school that gather and analyze data that on the implementation of the curriculum can also do research activities.
So thank you, Ms. Landero. So research activities in curriculum evaluation is like school can conduct research to analyze data gathered during curriculum evaluation. So this research helps identify strengths and weaknesses in the curriculum and suggest area for improvement. So example, a school may conduct a study comparing the performance of students in traditional versus project-based learning methods to determine which approach works better. So that's all my part. So the next reporter is Ms. Malera.
So once again, good evening, BSN Field 3-1. So my topic for today is all about the 6 model of curriculum evaluation. So there are many model of curriculum evaluation, but I choose only the best, which is 6. So today we will gonna tackle about the 6 model. So first is the Tyler's model, second is the CIPP model, and the third is the stakes model, and the fourth is the Rogers model, and the 5th is the Scrivens model, and the 6th is the Kirkpatrick's model. So this 6th model is very important in curriculum evaluation. Let's talk about the first one, class. So what is Tyler's model? So can you please read Binibining Gapo? What is Tyler's model?
Tyler's model, 1949. Using Tyler's model, the following curriculum component and process are identified in curriculum evaluation.
Thank you, Ms. Gapo. So when we say Tyler's model, it talks about the alignment between the educational objectives and student outcomes. So as you can see here, there are curriculum elements and evaluation process. So please read Ms. So in curriculum elements, there are
Objectives, intended learning outcomes.
So in objective and intended learning outcomes, it has the evaluation process which talks about
Determine intended learning outcomes or objectives.
okay, no, second,
Second is situation or context. Identify the situation, context that gives opportunity to develop behavior or achieve objectives. Third, evaluation, instrument or tools. Select, modify, and construct evaluation instrument or tools.
so para mas maintindihan yung pamalalo kung ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng Tyler's model. So sa isang salita, pag sinabi natin Tyler's model, ito yung mga nagbibigay diin sa kalinawan sa kalinawan ng mga layunin. Naiintindihan ba via Sedfield 3-1?
Opo.
Okay, so ngayon naman, pumunta naman tayo sa pangalawa, which is the CIPP model. So, what is CIPP model? The CIPP model concentrates on C means context of the program, I stands for the input into the program, P, the process within the program, and the P, product of the program. Take note, class, when we say CIPP, it stands about the context, input, process, and product. What is it again?
Context, input, process, product.
Okay, what is it again, Maria? CIPP stands for?
Context, input, process, product.
Binibining halo, help?
Context, input, process, product.
Okay, very good. So, para mas maintindihan nyo, class, pag sinabi natin o narinig nyo ang salitang CIPP model, ito ay it encourage continuous feedback and improvement of the student. Okay? So, what is CIPP again?
Context, input, process, product.
So, shall we proceed to the next one?
Yes.
Okay, so the third one is the stakes model. So in stakes model, there are three: the antecedent, the transmission, and the outcome. So when we say antecedent, it talks about the binibining Elmay.
Includes data, students, and teachers. Second, students' interest or prior learning. Third, learning environment in the institution.
Okay, so based on what in the antecedent, what can you say, binibining Irma? It talks about the
Layunin or objectives. Include data on student and teachers.
it talks about the
Student performance.
okay, very good. So next is the transition. It talks about the interactions occur between the teachers and student. So question ninyo, class. So nga naman sa curriculum evaluation, magkinahanglan man tag interactions between the teachers and the student. Sir, Dexter, why is it important to have interactions between the students and the teachers, or the teachers or the students?
Well, actually, in the curriculum, there must be an interaction between
teachers and students because curriculum ng is student education or kumbaga is ang makabuhat ng curriculum as a teacher, makabuhat ng curriculum to student na natin observe nila or kung saan may makuha nila or sa ito lang kung baga or research nila kung saan ang kulang sa student then mo na i-apply nila sa kanang i-apply sa mga teacher or yung gamitan or which is sa curriculum which is ma-apply nila ang kanang interaction di ba sa curriculum so magkapan ng student and teacher.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dexter. So in other words, this is very important between the teachers and students so that dito nila maibibigay ng mas malalim na pag-unawa sa resulta based sa student performance. So next is the outcome. So in outcome, there are the impact of curriculum implementation. So dito, masasabi na natin dito na ang student, teachers, administrators, and community. So nganong naaman ni silang upat? Kay sa atong based sa atong pag-learn, sila kay ma-involve also, right? Because ang teachers ang mustorya or mutudlo sa student which is makakon pud sila sa administrator and teachers or unsang ipamaagi sa administrator then ma-adapt sa bisag asa nga mga student. Okay? Do you understand, guys? Yes. Class? Okay, so now let's move on to the fourth one. The fourth one is the Rogers model. So what is Rogers model? In Rogers model then there are two evaluations, which are the formative and summative. So when we say formative evaluation, what can you say about that one, Mrs. Landero? Miss Landero, when you hear the word formative evaluation, dili unsa mong idea formative evaluation? Okay, when you pag naririnig nyo ang salitang formative evaluation, it talks about what? Sir Lito, formative evaluation.
In my own perspective, so formative evaluation talks about how the teacher process what we call the exam. So for example, or the lesson itself. So for example, if the lesson is talks about the nouns and pronouns in English class, the student doesn't understand the discussion. So for that, when he or she conducts one exam or yung diagnostic niya, meron siyang buha. So iyang ibalik to teach our lesson, then also through the process niya sa iyang pag-exam is iyang pag-ibalik para the simulation of the learning of the student is quite movable and simultaneously platform siya ma-observe the students and also ma-learn for the teachers kung sa'yo kulangan sa mga students.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lito. So next is the summative evaluation. So what is summative evaluation, Mr. Derder? Miss.
Okay, so summative evaluation can be through us helping validate and check formative assessment. It is a periodic measure of how children are overall progressing in their learning. So when we see summative evaluation, so mo na siya, pag the word summative evaluation, mo na siya mo check or mo tanaw sa di ka sa formative assessment kung nakuha ba sa student ang gusto nga sa topic about sa topic issue.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Derder. So in other words, in Rogers model, it helps the educators understand how effectively introduce and implement the new curricula or teaching method. Huwag kang magtabi-tabi dyan, Maria. Okay, next. Maria, next is the Scrivens model. Can you please read, Maria?
This model is designed to provide a systematic and comprehensive evaluation of educational programs and curricula. It emphasizes the importance of defining clear objectives and standards for evaluation
as well as collecting and analyzing data to determine the curriculum's effectiveness.
So in Scriven models, there are defining objectives and criteria, designing the evaluation plan, and plan collection, data analysis and interpretation, reporting and recommendation. So I have a question for you, class. Nganong kinahanglan man sa curriculum evaluation ang defining the objectives and criteria? Anyone? Miss Kim. Nganong sa curriculum evaluation, magkinahanglan man ta mag-define sa objectives o criteria?
Teachers and students. So after we discuss, we may ask questions to your students so that learn mga students about it.
Okay. So thank you, Miss Kim. So in other words, defining objects and criteria, it encourages ongoing assessment to enhance educational practice and outcome. So next is, and the last one is the Kirkpatrick model. So in Kirkpatrick model, there are level 4. So the level 1 is the reaction. The level 2 is the learning. The level 3 is the behavior. And the level 4 is the result. So I have a question for you, class. Nganong sa curriculum evaluation, naa man sa top 4 ang result or naa sa level 4 ang result? Binibining Irma. For you, ngano kang sa curriculum evaluation naa sa top 4 gibutang ni Kirkpatrick and model ang result? Ngano dili man siya pwede sa top 1 or sa level 2, level 3? Nganong sa kinalasan na siya nga level? Very easy. Okay, help. Binibining. Alo.
For me, nasa gibutang sa last because ang result or ang outcome, makita nyo na to siya or ma-happen nyo na siya at the last. Wala siya gibutang.
Okay, another. Miss Awit. Ngano ka ha, girl? Magibutang man siya sa kinalasan. Dili man siya pwede sa 1, sa 2, sa 3. Ngano diya man dyan siya sa last level ang result? Very easy.
So, for me, dira siya sa level 4 gibutang because sa discussion is anhadjud mo siya by the end of the discussion is anhadjud siya makita if ang kanang students is naka-learn ba na siya about sa imong discussion. So maka-evaluate ang teachers if ever ang students is naka-learn ba or wala. So if ever wala man gali naka-learn ang mga students, so munang kanang go back niya ang discussion for them to be able to learn.
Okay, thank you, Miss Elmay. So, the explanation of this one is already explained by Miss Elmay. So, that's it for today's video. Today's evening, guys. Thank you so much.